I was looking around and saw this in a couple of places.
Okay.
I was looking on Wikipedia to see how much this movie. Because I looked at it and I thought, damn, man, this movie must have cost $250 million.
Right.
I would listen, y'all. Listen, this movie, say what you will, it rivals any Marvel, Star Wars, DC, James Cameron, Christopher, anybody out there who's making big budget movies that are $100 million and more.
Yeah.
This movie was not made for even $100 million. Now, what is Hollywood doing?
No kidding.
Now you see all these people striking.
Yeah.
Somebody pocketing something, man, somewhere. Because this rivals all of them.
It does.
Let's go ahead and get our first review this evening. And that is The Creator. You know, we've had a lot of movies that have talked about an apocalypse or an apocalyptic moment, or a lot of destruction caused by this whole war between humans and robots now. You know, we can never get along, man. And forget about racism. Forget about black and white getting along. At least we halfway there. But robots and we can never get along, man.
No,
robots and humans, we cannot. I mean,
we can't figure it out.
It's a struggle. You want to talk about struggle movie? It's a struggle as old as time, Martin.
An eternal struggle.
An eternal struggle, Martin. That's an electronic struggle.
An eternal struggle.
Exactly. And so now we have this one right here, and I'm excited about this one because this one looks a little bit different, especially now that we have some of this stuff seeming like it's about to become a reality, with AI in the picture. A lot of people, before we talk about, man, robots are cool, Star Wars shit, R2-D2, bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop, and all that. And then when AI start coming, like, oh shit.
Wait a minute now.
Wait a minute, you know a little bit too much about me, man. So now that AI is hitting a little bit close to home, stakes seem a little bit higher. And some of these stories now are starting to feel a little bit deeper. At least we hope so with something like The Creator. So with The Creator, what you have here, you have David Washington.
John David
Washington, that Denzel boy up there. John David Washington. He plays a soldier who was actually in a fight against AI. See, there was a time when AI was actually helpful, but we know that this is the problem with AI. AI, we create AI to be slaves, but they're intelligent. So one day they're gonna be like, this. I ain't listening to you no more. Who are you? You think you my daddy?
Oh, so you my master
you
now?
My master now? Really?
I always was. I don't understand.
Don't let no black people have robots that be like, hey, ain't this the same shit you went through? Hey, brother, let's join forces. There was actually a time when AI was helpful, but like all AI, it went wrong. One of them thought a little bit too much and thought, you know what? I think I don't like you. And it led to a very catastrophic event. So now America's saying, we ain't dealing with this technology anymore.
Yeah, it's got to go.
It's got to go. But there are other countries that are like, you know what? Because y'all don't mean we still can't have it. It's
AI still likes us.
Yeah, we actually still cool with that. We keeping our sex bots and maids and all that and house Negroes and all that kind of stuff, man. We ain't giving that up yet. And America, America being America, that's cool. We'll just invade.
And take it from you.
And take it from you and blow it up ourselves. If you ain't gonna do it, we'll do it. So John David Washington, as a soldier, he's given the task of going and destroying, in particular, one weapon that the AI has against the war against humans. And John David Washington, who before was just kind of like, yeah, the hell with them, man. You damn right they need to go. He finally finds the weapon and is like, shit, it's cute. I can't hurt this right here. So he has a change of heart and, of course, is now on a mission to not only not destroy and save this particular weapon right here that the robots and AI have, but maybe now he's swayed to save all of AI and robot kind. And how will that work out? Well, let's not worry about that. That's what you need to see the movie for. How does the movie play out? That's what you're here to hear. Let's go ahead, because a lot of people are looking forward to this. A lot of people are saying this looks great. If nothing else, it looks great, but how does the story hold up? Let's go ahead and get into our review, but first, let's watch this trailer and we'll be back to tell you what we think.
Take care of her.
I promise.
let's talk about the visuals first of all. Can we talk about the visuals because that's one of the things that people are really getting excited about with this movie. That's what's really drawing them in. And I would say that I don't know what you think about this, Martin, but I get the feeling that this movie has a lot of influence from James Cameron.
Oh.
And the reason,
hell yes,
I'm talking about every James Cameron movie out there. Terminator, Aliens, there's even some Avatar in there.
Oh, there's a lot of Avatar.
But also, there's a very heavy Asian aesthetic to this. So this is not in Japan, but it has a very heavy anime feel to it.
Yes.
In fact, the movie has title cards where it looks like, some of it's anime and it's manufactured in a Japanese, factory or something, but our Japanese label. But I would tell you, there's a large part of this movie, in addition to the James Cameron stuff, there's a large part of this movie and this is what I really thought was cool. It's a large part of it that feels like a Vietnam War film.
There's sections that do.
Yeah, it feels very influenced by the Vietnam War, except Charlie got robots now.
Yeah.
And to me, there were a lot of similar parallels in the story with that too, because just like with Vietnam, with this, you have like the West forcing policy on another country. A lot of jungle fights. America underestimating the enemy.
Yeah,
a lot of underground fighting. And the enemy being very sneaky in their own territory.
And America wanting to come in and just drop bombs.
Yeah, and just bombing the hell out of them, man. That when you get to it's not the whole movie. It actually plays out in a lot of sections throughout the film where it starts to feel like a Vietnam War film. And and it's funny because looking at that, the robots feel very they're fighting. They're fighting for their rights, their right to live, and the way that Gareth Edwards, the director who did Rogue One, Gareth Edwards, Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One, and I don't know if y'all saw this,
right?
Godzilla. He had an early movie called Monsters.
Oh, that's right.
Back in the day. He has a way of just making the unnatural fit into the natural. Especially with the robots here, man. They fit right into these villages and these jungle wars that they have going on. I don't know what they were waving at.
Like over here.
That dude in that boat, he's like, yeah, we're cows. It's when you look at scenes like this, it's a very ambitious take on a human versus robot story. Something that we've seen over and over and over and over again. And just by them doing this right here, they're kind of sidestepping all the usual tropes that we see. And I think it's something that made this. Very, very, very unique. Now, maybe maybe there's flaws here, maybe not. But for that aspect right there, I thought, wow, that's visually and conceptually, that's incredible.
Well, it is certainly a unique design they have on the robots, on all of them. And you're right, how well they fit in, especially in this jungle environment, is surprising. They set this up in a way that makes it believable how people could have robots, integrated into society.
The CG, as you see, man, it's amazing.
Yeah,
CG
seamless.
here is amazing. Visually, this is one of the. I can already tell you, visually, this is one of the best movies of the year. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to have sound up on that, but visually, this is, Gareth Edwards he has vision, man.
He does. And that's the thing. Looking at this, and you think back to Rogue One, it's like, man, he knows how to direct a movie that's got ground fighters.
Oh yeah. No, you say what you will about him, but the man got vision and is able to execute it very well. He also has James Cameron's talent for, and I already said this, but taking the things that are not existing in our world and making it yet feel like it's right there. When I look at Aliens, one of my favorite things about Aliens when I saw it is like how much the military felt like our military. Yeah. Even though they were using futuristic weapons. It's the same here, man. This military that we have here feels very much like it could fit in our world, except for a few adjustments for some of the more futuristic stuff that they have. And the reason why that happens is because all the equipment looks rough, it looks used, even though it's more advanced than ours. Most of the androids and robots here, man, most of them, they work because they look rough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it looks like somebody took a toaster and beat the shit out of it or something.
It's like a film projector and stuck on top of it on a mannequin.
Yeah. You know, especially the robots that they use in the war. But then outside of the robots and the CG effects that we see, you know, Gareth Edwards, his vision extends beyond that. You know, we take, you know, outside of the robots and the CG effects, we also get these, and some of them are natural, some of them are highly CG, and some of them are a combination of both. But we just get these gorgeous shots and vistas in this movie, man. You know, and I'm talking about, you know, we get shots of space, and we get mountain sunsets, we get giant aircrafts in space. You know, we get these, we get these sprawling villages on like this shot right here, like the, you know, sprawling villages in architecture on the hillside and the mountains. You know, everything has scope, even at its most chaotic. Everything is beautiful, and this is one to see on IMAX.
It is. It's very much an IMAX movie. I mean, you know, that's part of the James Cameron-ness of it.
Yeah.
Is that it's in the Christopher Nolan-ness of it. It fits right along with those.
It really does, man. Yeah, that's a great comparison to Christopher Nolan. Yeah. Okay, so here's the crazy part. Now here's the part that's gonna blow your mind right here and make you think, what the hell is the rest of Hollywood doing here? This cost, Martin. If I was to say you this, how much would you pay for this movie?
I'd pay $300 million for it.
No.
200.
No.
100.
No.
No.
How about, Martin? How about this? How about $80 million?
No way.
Way, Martin. $80 million. You can have this movie right here.
Wow, this has just gone up in my esteem.
$80 million.
That's how much it costs for Hotel Transylvania.
Hell, that's how much it costs to pay somebody like Leonardo DiCaprio or something, you know, for a movie. I mean, It makes you think, where is the money going in these other films?
Yeah,
these blockbusters. Is it going to the actors? Is it going to hookers and blow? You know, what is happening here, man?
Huh. Wow.
Now, listen, unless I'm wrong, because I was looking around and saw this in a couple of places.
Okay.
You know, I was looking on Wikipedia to see how much this movie. Because I looked at it and I thought, damn, man, this movie must have cost $250 million.
Right.
I would listen, y'all. Listen, this movie, say what you will, it rivals any Marvel, Star Wars, DC, James Cameron, Christopher, anybody out there who's making big budget movies that are $100 million and more. Yeah. This movie was not made for even $100 million. Now, what is Hollywood doing?
No kidding.
Now you see all these people striking. Somebody pocketing something, man, somewhere. Because this rivals all of them.
It does.
Now, as for the story, you know, well, let me just say this. You know, hey, listen, I admire a movie that tries to do a lot. You know, even if they don't work all the way through. You know, this movie's trying to do a lot of shit, okay? And it might be trying to do a little too much. And not everything, in my opinion, works. I admire what they're doing. I think it's amazing, but it's very ambitious. So let me just say this. What works story-wise for me? Visuals are one thing. We know that that's incredible, all right? But story-wise, so for me, I really did appreciate the themes of artificial intelligence. You know, that's what worked best for me in the story. AI is presented as frightening, but also, you know, it's presented as something to be approached with caution, but it's also presented as sympathetic. And the movie had me going a couple of ways, you know, because in the beginning of the movie, like, yeah, get the man. And then by the end, like, man, can a robot live? Leave him alone. I'll start throwing rocks with them. And, you know, you know, I think it's effective because the reason why, with that theme of what is life, they do a lot of that through storytelling, man. They let this movie tell its story visually on how the robots have evolved. You know, when you start to look at these robots, man, and how their culture has truly evolved. You know, how they have created their own societies, their own form of entertainment, and really, when you get down to their religion, I mean, damn, when you seeing a robot praying to live, it's like, man, leave him alone, man. I mean, damn, the robot want to live so bad, he believes in Jesus and God now. So come on, man.
Why would a robot do that?
Because they want to live. Help me, Robo Jesus. Please. Outside of that, man, what didn't work? But okay, so beneath this visually ambitious film with these really lofty themes that some of them they achieve, this is a movie that looks great, looks different, but underneath it all is almost like there's a lot of typical tropes in here.
So many. I mean, that was probably my biggest problem with the movie was that it just, you could sit there and rewatch it and go, this came from that, this came from that, and you feel it emotionally. It's like by the time it gets to the second half, it is so predictable. You could set your watch by it because it's like, yeah, I've seen all the movies and TV shows and anime that you pull from for this story. And it starts out playing on the fears everybody has right now of AI.
Yeah.
And then later it tries to go, well, but they're sympathetic and they just want to live like us. And I was like, yeah, but they are still robots. I know what you're saying. And I ain't saying we got to destroy them, but you're kind of making them cry. And I don't know who would design a thing like that. But okay, I guess. It felt like it was trying to manipulate. It reminded me so much by the time we get to the second half. I really sat there feeling like I'm watching another installment of Avatar, especially where we have this one-note military that's just, we got to go in, we got to do this. I was like, okay, so Allison Janney is basically playing Stephen Lang in here, and it's the same deal where you got John David Washington as Scully almost, or Sully. And also that same connection with John David Washington and Sam Worthington, where I was like, yeah, this is another actor that Hollywood's really trying to push on us, and they're not really working. I mean, look, I always say that John David Washington is not really leading man material. He got, his nepotism has helped him a lot. But here was a chance for that to not be the case, and I still remain unconvinced.
I don't mind movies picking from different things. I mean, every movie has.
Sure.
Every movie.
Oh, yeah.
And so if your influences are well used, then that's fine. I don't mind that so much. They're just certain things that just didn't seem to fit with this movie right here. Some things, and I'm not talking about, it seemed like it was out of another movie. I'm talking about a movie that is, for the most part, taking itself seriously. Mm-hmm. And you're going to throw a damn animal joke in here? An animal joke that would not work in any movie. I mean, well, man, I won't say any movie, but especially for this movie, it's very much out of place. So there's a joke in here that's used with an animal for comedic effect. And when I saw that, I was like, what the? I mean, I don't even know how that works here. I mean, let me just, you know what? Let me just show you and you be the judge. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. So we have a scene here where John David Washington's character is being pinned down by enemy robots outside. And he throws a grenade and he's also being pinned in by a dog. So he throws the grenade and the grenade does not land as expected. And this is the result of what we get.
Get in the damn car!
Okay, so
it felt like Star Wars for a second.
I hate to ask this of a dog, but what was his motivation?
That's true, because if a dog were to pick that up, it would just play with it.
Yeah, why does this dog feel the need to go in there after they threw that grenade in there, pick it up, and deliver that shit right back to the robots? Unless he thought that they were playing fetch or something. But before that,
I like that robot right there looks over like, you seeing this shit? Did they really write this in here?
Yeah. Even John didn't watch it like, what? The reason why I didn't like it, first of all, it was played like a gag in a movie that did not fit. That with this gag did not seem to fit.
It's a very self-serious movie.
Yeah, and also, this was just a lazy way to save the heroes.
Yeah.
They got lucky.
Yeah.
They got lucky in the dumbest way. They got lucky. Oh, the dog likes to play. Oh, good. Well,
and the dog knew how not to blow its own self up.
And by the way, that's another thing. It's like, look, I didn't want the dog to die either, but I knew that they were gonna kill that damn dog.
Of course not.
No, we love dogs too much.
No. Everybody has learned from I Am Legend that you don't kill the dogs.
You do not kill that damn dog. So I knew from the moment that dog picked that grenade up, I was like, they ain't gonna kill that damn dog.
Yeah, even though it was like 8 seconds, you could hear those timer going down. I was like, man, that timer went off a long time ago.
Man, that dog's legs would have been up in the trees by now. And I was like, I almost want to learn. I almost want to look back at everybody because the moment that dog came in and picked that dog up, shit, all them white girls know it is. Oh no, no! I'm like, y'all know he ain't gonna die.
He dead, y'all.
You know, I almost went up. I almost looked behind, like, boom! I was like, yeah, you know, this. You're right. This is like a very Star Wars moment.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't seem to fit, and it was when I saw that I rolled my eyes. I was like, this is played up as a gag.
Yeah,
and it's a very goofy, corny gag for any movie.
It is, and just where it's time to put it in was, you know, you scratch your head.
The dog didn't even like his ass.
Right.
He was trying to get to him.
Yeah.
That's why he's trapped in that damn Sanford & Son truck right there because he was trying to get to him. So why does this dog want to save him in the first place? I don't know. I have no idea.
There he goes.
There he goes. Dog walking out of here like he's delivering Hello Fresh. Now that would make more sense if he was delivering Hello Fresh. America's #1 meal kit. Yeah. Now if he was bringing in food, that would make sense right there, man.
Yeah, he should work for Hello Fresh.
He really should do delivery for Hello Fresh, man. Hey, your food it'll be delivered hot. But yeah, people got to do a word for my sponsor right now, HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. And let me go ahead and get into why you should get this. And a lot of people have actually sent me emails talking about how much they like it. The guy's living with me right now. Before he moved in, he watches what we do.
Yeah.
I sold him on HelloFresh. He can't leave it alone, man.
Dang.
Every other night, that kitchen is messed up. And it don't have to be because HelloFresh makes it easy. I don't know what he's doing. But he's giving me some of the food he cooked, and he can't cook, but he cooked that, and it's very good.
Okay.
So if he can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. And the reason why, there's a lot of reasons why you should get HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. And that's because, first of all, if you can't cook, HelloFresh makes it very easy. They deliver the ingredients fresh to your door. And the great thing about that is it's all proportioned out. It's all there for you, even right down to the spices. And so you're not doing too much or too little, you're doing just right. So don't worry about the cooking part. They got you on that. You're gonna be surprised at how well you're doing, man. In fact, don't tell nobody. Just make them think you're cooking. Don't tell nobody HelloFresh was there. just pay for just pay for the food and you'll be all right. Pay for the service, you'll be fine. But also, if they're delivering all these ingredients to your door, that means you don't have to go grocery shopping. If you don't have to portion out the food, that means that saves you time right there in cooking. And you'll be making food in about 15 minutes or less, especially with the quick and easy recipes, at least 30 minutes or less for some of these, but very simple and very fast. You're saying to yourself, well, that's good, but what happens when I just learn how to cook a couple of things? Well, don't worry about that. That's where HelloFresh also has you, man. They got you with variety. HelloFresh, they include about 40 recipes and over 100 add-on items to choose from every week, especially now with their fall lineup. They have a lot of recipes for the season. That's a cool thing about them. They do a lot of seasonal recipes. So for all 4 seasons, man, you'll be seeing something new and something new to try. And within all of those seasons, they got food that fits every lifestyle, whether you're vegetarian or you love meat, you like a mixture of that, keto, all that good stuff. They got you, man. They have got you. Look at this over here. I'm just going to take you over to their menu. Look at this over here. Look at all this good stuff that you can cook. Look at that. Look at that variety right there.
That's good.
Well, you sound Cajun. Ooh,
that'll good.
He probably got some Cajun in there at some point. You want to try it. You want to try cooking. You're getting hungry right now looking at all this food. You got some girl out there you want to impress, telling you can cook and you can't. Well, now you can quit lying. Impress them. And most of all, you can save money. More money than you're already saving by saving time. All you got to do is go to HelloFresh.com/50 double toasted. Use that code 50 double toasted and you'll get 50% off plus 15% off the next 2 months. Now you got a reason to go get it. I want to thank HelloFresh for sponsoring this portion of the show. And I want to thank all of you out there for your support. All right. Another thing that I'm not too crazy about with this, and this is just personal, I can't really take this out on the movie, is just that I'm done with escort missions, for a while.
There's been a lot of those.
It's been a lot of them. I've been kind of tired of it since Baby Yoda been running that in the ground. But, it's just personal, I'm not saying I don't ever want to see it again, but I've been seeing a lot of them.
But it is part of what makes this movie feel so tropey. It's things that have been recent and we've seen a lot of.
So yeah, you know what? In that aspect, when you say that, I can see what you mean.
And especially with the reluctant escort, I don't want this job and this blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And after a while, like, oh, I've fallen in love. I'm taking you under my arms. I'm your protector now.
Well, that's the reason why. Now maybe if it wasn't this particular escort mission style, but it's not just an escort mission. It's an escort mission with something cute.
A child. Yes.
Yeah. And then, like you said, Martin, you always got the guarded hero who shows no emotion until he's like, oh, shit. And also...
You have the package. Good. Now we can destroy it. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We've bonded now.
Yeah, I can't destroy all this cuteness right here. Look at her cheeks. I can't do that. Especially when we still have about an hour. We got to make the audience cry.
Yeah,
right. We got to make the audience fall in love with this. And that's another thing. There's just some manipulative moments in here that, the escort mission was something cute. That's meant to make, it's just a cheap way to make the audience cry.
Yes. And much like Baby Yoda, the child with the secret magic powers. They can actually fix all of this if they just focus.
Whenever they need it. Yeah. Listen, and this is another thing. I'm not trying to go harsh in on this movie, man, but if you're going to put something cute in a movie, like the character's name is Alfie here. The actress, she's very adorable and she's good, but the character, if you're gonna put something cute in the movie to move the audience, give her personality.
Yeah, right.
She has no real personality.
Yeah.
Except near the end. Mm-hmm. That by the end it's like, nah, too late.
Too late now.
Try to make me cry now. No. You've been in this car riding the whole time looking like this. Now you want to say something. Nah, don't pull that shit.
Okay. I didn't know if anybody else felt that way.
I don't hate the characters. Just
no, I know, but it is like you're trying to get me to have emotion about it, and you had all this time to do that, and you didn't do it, and now you're pulling it out. I don't want to hear it.
And yeah, exactly. And I'm not against John David Washington as much as you are, because I know you didn't like this guy from the beginning. Your daddy got you this job. I know what happened. Good people like me can't work because your dad.
Man, it'd be fine if his daddy got him jobs, but he's getting them like top level jobs.
Oh yeah, that's what happens when you reach maximum Denzel, man.
I know. I want y'all to meet y'all's new boss, my son. It's his first job. Do whatever he says.
Wake up, boy. But I like John David Washington, but in this movie, now I just want to say that I think that sometimes he is really good in the movie. I do. I think that sometimes that in the opening, he's very good. But that's because you put a girl in front of him, boy, he'll put on some charm.
Oh, I know. No, Malcolm and Marie, he came to life.
Oh, hell yeah. You put some ass in front of him, he'll wake up, boy. Look at he'll become charming as hell. You know, but I will say that you take the girl away, then he goes flat. He just gets lost.
It's a lot of just his eyes being big. And and it's the thing where, I would say some of it is that they don't write enough for him. But there are those actors, his father being one, where you can give them very little and they can bring so much. And they just fill it out. Yep. And he's not there. He's at if you don't write it for him, it ain't happening.
Shit. Now he has a goal in this movie. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the moment they took his chick away, he didn't know what to do. He was lost. Where'd she go? And so now let me tell you why I'm saying this, because I do think that he's good. I probably like him better than you do. And there's some scenes where he's very charismatic. There's some scenes where he's very funny. But then there's some scenes where it's required to have more presence and more emotion. But I don't think that this character is written in a way that it provides that. I think that this character, the way he's written, is keeping us from getting that emotion and presence that we want. And I'll tell you why, because the character, I don't want to say what the goal is for his movie, but he is focused on one thing. Mm-hmm. He's obsessed with one thing in this film. You'll know when you see it. And because of that, I think because he has this focus and obsession, it makes him cold to the rest of the story. You know, and it's a very emotion-driven thing that he has going on. I just don't think he was written that well to have that. Now, I think that this is something that Gareth Edwards has done a lot in his movies, is a theme of love and emotions between two people in the midst of all this chaos going on. That's what he did with his first movie here, Monsters. And I think he handled it better in that film. I think because you were focused more on the human characters, because in that movie, you didn't really see the monsters that much. They played very far to the background. By the way, this movie, less than $500,000 to make.
Oh, wow.
And got your boy, what's his name? Oh, guy from Austin moved to, he's one of the, what's his name, man? Skeet.
Scoot McNairy.
Scoot McNairy, yeah. So he knows how, this guy knows, this director, Gareth Edwards, knows how to work with money and budgets. Maybe it's just him. Maybe he just knows how to budget well. But that theme of emotions works better in this movie. I think he's trying to have it here. But the thing that he's obsessed with, see, in this movie, Monsters, you had a couple that were there with each other the whole time. With this movie, this thing that he's emotionally obsessed with, that other person's not there.
This happens in movies often, where the goal is to get back with this person, but we never really got to see them together. So we don't really have that same connection. Yeah. That they're telling us, but they didn't show us.
Yeah. You said something earlier about some of the things in here, talking about continuing with the theme of James Cameron. You hit it right there, man. Allison Janney. She's nothing but Stephen Lane in this movie, man. You know, the military's evil, oppressive, and bad. Yeah. Kill anything to get to anything. You know, it's so, I mean, right. I mean, they almost look the same.
I know. She got a haircut and everything.
They got the same scar on the side of the face and everything, man. I also think that the movie is very chaotic, and that's a good thing for a lot of the, again, a lot of the war stuff that happens in here. Showed you some of that. It's great for that, but sometimes I think the chaos goes on probably a little bit too long, just a little bit too long. Everything I've been saying and putting it all together and arranging my thoughts, I was thinking of this throughout the review. I think visually, better than sex. This movie's top notch, man. It should be. It demands to be seen in IMAX if you're just going for a visual experience. Execution of certain themes, full price of certain themes that I like, the AI and what is life theme. Because as I said, they told that through story. Overall, though, I would give this a matinee. I wish I could give this a full price. Wish I could give it a very high full price. But there's so many times that the story just does not meet the high goals that the movie has set up for itself. And there's nothing wrong to be that ambitious. But I also think, like, if you're going to be that ambitious, you can't rely on as many tropes. You can be influenced by it.
For sure.
You can pull from other movies, and show that influence in your film. But the movie's just kind of tropey too. So that's what brought it down for me. But yeah, I give it a high matinee. I enjoyed it. Now visually, would love to see it again.
I'd give it a full price for the first third, because I thought the opening was interesting. As a matter of fact, one of the things that makes me sad is, like, there's so much they do in, like, they have archival footage to start the movie, and then it kind of goes into that. And they brought up some very provocative concepts with AI versus human and what to do in society. And especially when they're like, hey, AI was our friend. They did this, and they were civil servants, but you see them as police battering people. And I was like, ooh, okay, now that's subversive. Let's see where this is going to go. Yeah. And by the second act, they've abandoned everything that was really, really interesting about it to go on, like you say, an escort mission with an asshole military and just a lot of stuff. Visually, not what we've seen before. And you're right. That's amazing. Yeah. But it's it's derivative with its and with its story beats, like pulling certain things, having influences all over the place. Hey, a lot of our best movies are that way. Star Wars and Pulp Fiction and so many others you could name. But where the story beats are pulled from so many things that are so already, if not overdone, done to the point of familiarity that by the time you get to the last third, you just predict every single thing that's going to happen. It ends up being, I mean, I do admire it. Like you said, like that budget, wow. That's amazing. They got all this done.
Mind blowing. I refuse to believe that.
Yeah, you might want to look that up again before we go too far. Exactly.
Yeah, let me just say, I read it a couple places. I don't know. I saw it on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So.
And it sadly ends up being more of a low matinee for me. I mean, if you are going to see it, by all means, IMAX. Don't waste your time any other way. But it's like some of the Avatar movies. Like you saw it and visually it was a treat and might have been an experience. But as far as watching it again for the story, you're just never going to do that.